adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who I love because she talks health and wellness, and I'm all about that, as you guys know. And she's got one of the best shows on the station, probably even better than mine. And and the subject we're talking about today, I hold close to my heart. In fact, I saw one of her emails this week about, I think it was this week, about this exact subject. And man, it is something that is so important for you guys to listen to right now. We're going to be talking about the hidden causes of diabetes with my expert health and wellness coach here at the station, Sara Banta. How are you?
I'm good, Dean. I'm so excited to be here and talk about this topic. It is so prevalent in our society today. I feel like 9 out of 10 people either have pre-insulin resistance, insulin resistance, or full-blown diabetes. And it's affecting everybody. I don't know about you, but I feel like my parents' generation, my parents never had weight issues ever. Right. And they've never even thought about a carb or sugar or protein or fats because they grew up in a time where food was real food.
Right. Go figure.
Imagine that. It's an amazing concept that you're actually eating real food. And so our food system has been hijacked. So for all of you out there, whether you have heart disease, obesity, just that extra 5 to 10 pounds that you have no idea where that came from, or full-blown diabetes, it's not your fault. It's not a lack of willpower. So that's the good news, right? So you ready to get into this?
Yeah, I do want to make a comment, though. It's very interesting. As you know, or maybe you don't remember or don't think I'm still here, but I'm in Costa Rica right now. Okay. And so it was interesting. I was talking with somebody and they were complaining about the produce in the grocery stores here don't last long at all. And I know you love that. That's why I bring it up. And I'm thinking to myself, they really don't get it, do they? It's not supposed to last long.
No, if you stick a McDonald's hamburger on your countertop for over a year, it will look the exact same. That is not a good sign, guys.
No, not at all.
You want your food to rot and get moldy within a day or two. That means it's real food without preservatives. So let's get into the hidden causes because everyone thinks, oh, it's sugar, right? It's all sugar. I should cut out my sugar. Yes, sugar puts fuel on the fire. So I'm not saying you should be eating sugar, but that is not the main cause. Diabetes is insulin resistance at the liver. Heart disease is insulin resistance at the heart. PCOS, the #1 cause of infertility for women, is insulin resistance at the ovaries. Alzheimer's is insulin resistance of the brain. So I bet if you have insulin resistance, you are suffering from fatty liver, heart disease, maybe some hormonal issues, and brain fog. All of these things are associated together, right? So before 1980, there was no processed food or very little. And that's why I brought up my parents' generation because they were eating real bread. They were eating real sugar, not infused with high fructose corn syrup and all of these seed oils. And they were also not having non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That disease didn't exist unless you were an alcoholic. Today, did you know 25% of children have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease?
Oh my God.
Children don't drink alcohol. And 45% of you listening have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. 45%. So why? #1, the processed foods. Our food system has been hijacked. 70% of the food that you're putting in your mouth, if you're a typical American, is not real food. It's processed food. They have the fruit, the high fructose corn syrup, the seed oils, which I really want to get into, the GMO grains, artificial sweeteners, and then they've taken out the good fiber. So fructose on its own causes fatty liver, and it steals ATP. And I really want to cement this in everyone's brains, this word ATP. ATP is your cell's energy, your mitochondria. Okay, your mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And there can be just hundreds of mitochondria per cell, or there could be thousands. And within each mitochondria, there could be 2 ATP or up to 36 or 38. ATP is your energy. So if you don't have ATP, it doesn't matter what you're eating, you're not going to get energy. Food is not necessarily energy. Food has to be converted into energy. And it's that conversion that causes disease, causes obesity, causes you to gain fat and your friend not to. That is what it comes down to. I know a lot of you listening are like, if I just look at a piece of chocolate, I gain weight, right? That happens. And it's true. Well, there's a lot that goes into it. And processed foods destroys that mitochondria and that ATP. The fiber helps regulate blood sugar. And these processed foods have stripped the fiber out. The seed oils. Now, this is what I really want to dive into. Processed foods typically contain only 21% of sugar, but up to 50% of these seed oils. What are those seed oils? The canola, rice bran, safflower, sunflower, peanut, grapeseed oil, soybean oil. Those are so bad for you. And get this, sugar stays in your body for a day. These seed oils stay in your body for up to 6 to 7 years. So what you ate 6 years ago at McDonald's, or even that really high-end restaurant that is cutting their olive oil dressing with canola oil, that is in your body causing inflammation and insulin resistance at the site of the cell. So these cells now become insulin resistant, and that insulin can't get sugar or energy into the cell. So why does taking sugar out of the diet help with diabetes? Not because sugar is the cause, but there's no more room in these cells. So the insulin won't, it says, hey, I'm knocking at the door, and the cell says, sorry, we're full. I can't take anymore. So when you take out the sugar, it takes the gas off the pedal, or your foot off the pedal, right? Okay, so the seed oils are full of polyunsaturated fats. Now I'm laughing because the American Heart Association says these polyunsaturated fats are the good fats. You know, we're supposed to be eating the margarine instead of butter. No. These polyunsaturated fats are in imitation butter, salad dressings, fried foods, poultry, pork, nuts, all those healthy nuts and seeds that we hear about, even fatty fish that we thought are so happy or so healthy. So what happens is they've got linoleic acid in it. And this can cause impaired mitochondrial function, fat gain, heart disease, all the things that we're talking about. They've got multiple double bonds. So we're going back to chemistry class. In these double bonds in their carbon chains is very different from saturated fats. And it makes them very unstable. So they're very fragile. They can convert into harmful inflammatory compounds and cause so much damage and oxidative stress in the body. And what else happens is it impacts the electron transport chain that is needed for ATP and energy production. Remember, the goal is ATP. Without ATP, we're going to be fat and tired, right? Not a good combination. So they inhibit the fatty acid beta oxidation. So you're not burning your fat. Your body is not able to burn the fat. And you're using carbohydrate. Your body's fueling on carbohydrates. But then what happens is that the fat cells just get bigger, and then the body makes more fat cells. So these PUFAs, polyunsaturated fats, get them out of your diet now. And this is something that people are not talking about. Now, the artificial sweeteners in the processed foods, they make you think you want to eat more sugar because they're giving you sweetness without the calories. So then you follow it up with more cravings for sugar. And there's a lack of nutrients in those foods. They also disrupt the gut, cause leaky gut, which then increases endotoxins, bad guys in your gut. And those bad guys store fat. So endotoxins and PUFAs, the two hidden causes of diabetes. We need to heal our gut. We need to take care of our gut, get it so it's absorbing the nutrients from real food, not fake food. And we need to get those inflammatory fats out of our body. Now, in addition to that, you've got radiation from our cell phones, our Zooms, our computers. All of that is actually increasing insulin resistance, causing or attacking the nervous and endocrine system. Hormonal issues happen, and it produces oxidative stress, free radical damage, and all of that is accelerating aging, including leading you to diabetes. So even without touching a morsel of chocolate, using your cell phone can raise your insulin resistance and risk of diabetes. And in addition to that, you've got toxicity. The toxicity from our food supply, the GMOs, glyphosate, lead, mercury, other heavy metals, vaccinations, the fluoride in our water, the bromide in our food. Did you know bromide is one of the 12 most poisonous, deadly substances in the world? It is illegal in Europe, but not here. It's in a lot of our food supply. It's in your couches, your clothing. It is not a good thing to have in your body. And these toxins back up the liver, contribute to hormonal disruption, create new fat cells because our body needs to encapsulate these toxins and store it in our fat cells to save us. It's all about survival. Then you have the spike protein. The spike protein has caused a disruption in our insulin response. So you will gain weight with an increased insulin response with the same food that you ate 4 years ago, and you didn't gain weight from it back then. So the spike proteins also causing water retention, inflammation, increased oxidative stress. And then over the last 4 years, because of the spike protein and because of the processed foods, we're all depleted in copper. And copper is needed for fat burning and controlling insulin resistance. So those are the hidden causes, but the good news is there's solutions. And
I like solutions.
Of course. Number one, get rid of anything that is packaged. If you got to open it up or if it has an ingredient list, it is processed food. Okay, so you've got to get rid of that. I have put together my Ascent Diet Cleanse, which is my most comprehensive cleanse. It increases ATP production. It focuses on that mitochondria. So not only is that weight just going to be released and fall off your body, but you're going to have energy through it, and you're going to cleanse your liver and heal your gut all at the same time. It reverses or alleviates fatty liver, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and the synergy of the supplements work together so that you're detoxing and feeling good at the same time. But to go through it, just real quick, the Ascent Diet Cleanse, I started group coaching. It comes with free group coaching on the first Monday of every month. So April 1st will be the next one. And so it's not too late to join if it's just a few days afterwards. But in there, I want to talk about the 3 best supplements. If you're like, I can't do a cleanse, I just want a couple supplements to help with energy and weight loss, I'll go through those now. And that is the Acceleradine Iodine. 96% of you are deficient in iodine, and iodine deficiency is the number 1 cause for mitochondrial failure. So just by including the Acceleradine Iodine in your regimen, you are going to take your 2 ATP per mitochondria to 36, and that's going to increase your metabolism, your thyroid health, and your fat metabolism. But the other thing, it is so important for your thyroid health, and your thyroid is the master endocrine gland. It controls all of your hormones, your adrenals, your estrogen, your testosterone, everything. When that is compromised, everything falls apart. The wheels fall off, right? Your immune system slows down, everything. Well, the accelerated iodine is providing the proper iodine for your thyroid hormones T2, T3, and T4. That stands for tyrosine and 2, 3, and 4 molecules of iodine. So how do you have thyroid hormones without iodine? If you're on thyroid medication like most of the United States and you still don't feel good, it's probably because it can't do any good without the iodine. The accelerated iodine is the only iodine with one molecule of iodine that is absorbed by all 100 trillion cells of the body. It also helps kick out all those toxins that we were talking about that cause weight gain and insulin resistance and diabetes. It detoxes every cell. It detoxes the halogens, which are the fluoride, the bromide, and the chlorine. And it helps alleviate the effects from the spike protein that we're all affected by. It cleans the blood. It helps with estrogen dominance. It helps with your hormones. So it is the number one supplement for your mitochondria and for reversing any disease that you have, including diabetes. And then you add into it the accelerated thyroid. This is the most comprehensive natural thyroid supplement to optimize your thyroid, detox your thyroid from everything we've talked about. It uses ancient Ayurvedic herbal remedy called Kanchanara, and then we add in the grass-fed glandular, and then we enhance it with scalar frequencies to help heal the thyroid and balance out the thyroid and parathyroid in the body. So between those two, you are going to be resetting your thyroid health. And with that, you will see a shift in your metabolism, in your fat burning, and your blood sugar. And by the way, iodine on its own has been shown to help with blood sugar. Then adding, go ahead.
No, that's interesting information right there, because how many people would think that iodine would help with your blood sugar?
No one. And what's so amazing is when you add in the accelerated ancient salt that is full of 62 minerals and helps plump up the blood to get all the toxins out, that also has been shown to get diabetics out of a diabetic crisis. So that lowers blood sugar. So between the two, it is an amazing tool for those that have insulin resistance. Now, the game changer is the accelerated keto, because it's not only increasing your ATP production in the mitochondria by 5 to 10 times, boosting your metabolism, but it's breaking down the fats in your liver and slowly detoxing and helping with that fatty liver disease, getting rid of that visceral fat, the dangerous fat around your belly. It helps with that liver, and the liver is needed to help with all of the toxins we're taking in. Because if we are having a backed up fatty liver and we're taking in all these toxins, the processed foods, the radiation, our livers say, I give up, I can't do anything. The fat burning happens in the liver. And the liver is where it metabolizes sugar and fats and protein. So it is a game changer. It gives you the energy, and it also suppresses your cravings for the sugar and the processed foods that lower ATP and metabolism. So you're able to intermittent fast without stress, have tons of energy, and then focus on the foods that I talk about, which are the wild animal proteins and the vegetables that we don't have time to go into today, but you can find that on my website and join my free group coaching to learn more about the diet that I talk about, that you will feel so much better on, with tons of energy. You're not starving. I don't tell you to count calories, and I do let you eat carbs. Imagine that. You have insulin resistance and carbs are not off limits. So that is the basis of diabetes in a quick summary, and I go into it in more detail on my website and in my group coaching.
And they definitely should join your group coaching for sure, because that is such an added benefit. And join your newsletter too, because you send out a wealth of information that they probably don't have access to anywhere. And I love how you were saying about the sugar knocking on the door. I had an image right there of like being a guy at a nightclub without a female and not being able to get in the nightclub.
There you go. I love that.
Oh man, so it's always a pleasure to have you on, and it's always so helpful because we need people like you nowadays. You're so right. It's like we used to eat real food, and I thought about it too. So, because as you know, I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I think, you think that, it's because I ate a lot of chocolate, a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs. But really, I think it really came about after they started making processed foods, and everything was a bunch of junk because I didn't have it before that. And the funny thing is I never gained weight. Like people, when I told them I had diabetes, they're like, "Hey, you have diabetes. You're like as skinny as can be." And that's the fallacy. They kind of think that. So you can't look at somebody and know whether they have diabetes or not. And those packages, you're so right, because once I start reading ingredients on stuff when I got diagnosed with diabetes, I was in shock. Like I couldn't believe I was reading the ingredients on frozen vegetables, and the top ingredient was sugar. Like, why do I have sugar on my vegetables? I don't understand that. And then all these different chemicals you can't pronounce. How can they be good for your body? Even with the alternative, like the sugar alternatives nowadays, people think that's the solution, but that's even more of a problem. And even stuff like sucralose gives you a higher sugar spike than table sugar. It's funny, and here in Costa Rica, they have coconut sugar in a lot of things, and people think that's healthy. And, I've read that coconut sugar has the same effect as table sugar. So you might as well just eat table sugar.
Yeah, we might as well just eat regular sugar. Pull out the honey and the regular sugar and get rid of the junk.
There you go. Well, I love it. Tell everybody how they can connect to you on socials, how they can sign up for your coaching, how they can check out your radio and TV show, podcast, everything, and your supplements.
Everything is at sarabantahealth.com. And just if you are confused, you don't know where to start, just email me through the website. Happy to put together a protocol for you. My group coaching is there. All of my articles, my podcast, Accelerated Health TV and radio show on every podcast platform you could listen to. It's there. And the group coaching is on Telegram. I invite you. I post every day videos, articles, and I answer your questions. So whenever you've got a question about a supplement, a food, or your health condition, post it and I will answer within 24 hours.
Love it. Thanks for being here once again on the Adventures of Pipeman and helping our audience, because we all need people like you so we can all be in better health and stop treating the symptoms and start treating the source with Accelerated Health products. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.